What's up AD team, Austin Dunham back again with another video, and today's video is going to be a special video and I'm doing it for you guys to end off 2018. all right, in this video we'll be discussing my 4-year transformation. Now if you don't know, I did a very similar video and it's called How College Changed My Life. Now in that video I discussed each year within college and how things like my mentality or what I was doing in school and my struggles, ups and downs, relationships, things like that, and how all those years together helped me discover who I am today. And I went year by year, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior to graduation. Now in this video I'm going to be doing the same exact thing but taking it from a training perspective. All right, so each year when I was in college, freshman, sophomore, all the way up until now, I'm gonna talk about my age, my height, oh not my height, my weight, and also my training thoughts at the time, all right? What I was working towards, my goals, maybe what type of routine I was doing at the time, and just anything involving training, and obviously a lot of calisthenics and stuff is gonna be thrown in there. So this video is going to give you a lot of insight into my mindset when it came to training when I was younger and how I literally progressed to where I'm at today from a training perspective. All right, warning, this might be a long video, so buckle up your seatbelts and be prepared to get some information, all right? Hope you guys enjoy the video.
You got it, pull up or shut up. You got it, pull up or shut up.
All right, so I wrote a whole bunch of notes right here about each year, what I was doing, and I had to dive deep within the research. And if you even go back on my old YouTube videos, you can literally see my progress in what I'm talking about. However, to save you some time, I'm gonna put some relevant B-roll on top of what I'm talking about so that you can visualize what I'm saying. But if you go back on my Instagram or YouTube, like I said, you can see all these old videos and see how I progressed throughout the years. All right, so the year was 2014. I was 18 years old and I was 145 pounds or 165.7 kilograms. And at this time, this is when I first entered college, I was doing unstructured gym workouts at the time. Like I would go in the gym, maybe do a bench press and some push-ups, pull-ups, you know, just really an unstructured workout. But I never did squats though, I'll give you that. I didn't do a lot of squats at all. And with that being said, I was very inconsistent with my training at this point. This was from summer until August. And then September hit, you guys know the date. September 1st, 2014 is when I ran my first calisthenics program after discovering it in August. And then I set the date September 1st to actually get started with it. Now at the time, I was literally pure bodyweight training only, calisthenics only. No weighted calisthenics, no type of isolation movements or nothing. And the program I ran at first was a full body beginner routine that can literally be found in my program, the Bodyweight Bodybuilder 2.0. In my programs that I offer, like the Bodyweight Bodybuilder, I give everything I literally did within that time frame. So I ran the 3-day beginner full body routine each week. And starting off, my goals were very simple and basic. I did not focus on any static or skill moves at first, which I'll get into in the later years. But I focused on learning a muscle up. I wanted to get reps of one-arm push-up, get reps of handstand push-up, and hold an L-sit and other beginner base level moves. It really all came down to increasing my reps of the basic numbers, getting real good at that, then just learning is like some very basic beginner level stuff. So at this point in time, I also did not focus on learning the handstand. I would play around with it, but I would learn things like the L-sit and the elbow lever. Like I said, like the handstand wasn't in my to-do list of skills I wanted to learn. Instead, I was focusing more on my shoulder strength by doing wall handstand push-ups and elevated pike push-ups. Now, what about legs, Austin? So legs, I was working on pistol squats, working my way up to that, and I started off with assisted pistol squats, and then eventually I got the full pistol squat from there. And I was doing like some explosive plyometrics along with my pistol squat training, and that was pretty much for legs. At the time, I did not train calves at all. I really didn't even know about calf training or that you could do it for that matter. For some reason, I just thought if you work your legs, your calves will get worked too. But obviously it doesn't work that way. And through numerous YouTube comments, I actually discovered that for myself. So thank you guys for that. But then after I got pretty decent with my bodyweight training, which took like, let's say 6-7 months, I think, if I can remember, that's when I switched from a full body routine to an upper lower routine. And I was doing, you know, upper lower rest, I think, and then I was doing upper lower again. So 4 days a week now instead of 3 days a week. And this is when I posted my 4-month transformation video, like I mentioned in my college story video. And during that time, I was just educating myself a lot on bodyweight training, calisthenics, and trying to learn as much as I could possibly about it. I was reading a lot of books, a lot of articles, referencing other YouTube videos from people more knowledgeable than me at the time. And I was just like going full in on calisthenics training. That's all I did. And like I said, no weights were involved at this point in time. It's strictly body weight. So that was year one. Year one was a great year, discovering something that I was passionate about. And I only missed a workout for 1 week. And I thought I wasn't going to be consistent with calisthenics, but eventually, you know, I did become consistent with it, and I didn't miss a workout after that for that whole entire year. Now let's talk about moving on to my sophomore year, okay? So the year was 2015. I was 19 years old, 155 pounds or 170.3 kilograms. Now, yes, I gained 10 pounds within that year. That's from noob gains and just a different stimulus, and also I learned about dieting stuff, getting in my protein and enough calories. So the noob gains plus, you know, the small gains. It wasn't that huge of a difference, but I did gain with like 10 pounds within the first year. So now during this time, after working with the upper lower split, I switched to a push pull legs type of split routine, and I continued to do that like for the rest of the time until recently. Now I kind of switched it up. Now this is the year I started focusing more on static training and learning about that stuff. Now I didn't get into the crazy stuff, like I just wanted to learn the basic static move. Well, not basic, but you know, the popular ones. So planche, front lever, back lever, and handstand were my 4 main goals, because at this point in time I could already do an L-sit, I can do an elbow lever, I can do static wall handstands like on my foot on the wall, but I couldn't do anything freestanding, right? I didn't have the strength, I didn't have the mobility or anything. So I made it a prime focus within my training to train those skills before I actually worked out or did my reps and sets. So I would have like planche days, I would have front lever and back lever days, and then I would have like handstand days. Handstand days being more frequent than the other days. I think I would train handstand like almost every day until I got it for, actually, now that I think about it. Now in regards to some of my goals at the time, my goals included the one arm chin up, front lever, back lever, planche, and handstand like I already said. So within this year, I was still doing only bodyweight training, all right? Didn't know too much about weighted calisthenics at the time, and I still even did pistol squats for reps now for my legs and still explosive movements, all right? I still didn't add weight to myself at this point in time. It was still 100% bodyweight training. And as you guessed it, I did not train my calves at all at this point either, because I just wasn't educated. Now, exercise I was doing here a lot that I've mentioned before that has helped me a lot with my ground pressing strength is doing pseudo planche push-ups. I would do pseudo planche push-ups all the time during this. It was like my go-to exercise. Once I got reps of my one-arm push-up, the following year, I think I got like up to 8 reps of one-arm push-up. I didn't do one-arm push-ups again. I started focusing on just pressing from, let me phrase this in a way that make sure it doesn't get copyrighted. I started pressing from the center of my body and started doing pseudo planche push-ups, okay? And I'll also do tuck planche push-ups and stuff like that, because if your goal is planche and planche training, you want to include dynamic movements within that, and that's what I discovered, and that's what helped me progress so fast within that. Now here I also did rarely weighted pull-ups, so I would like sometimes put on 25 pounds or a plate at most and do a few reps of weighted pull-up. However, my main goal was, like I said, the one-arm pull-ups, so I was doing a lot of archer pull-ups, I was trying negatives, and I was just going for reps of the one-arm pull-up. Now I know what people are gonna ask, Austin, where is the human flag and all this? Did you not wanna learn the human flag? Well guys, the human flag is a tricky subject. Why? Because where the gym I was training at, there was literally like nowhere to do human flags. All the poles outside were like super thick and I couldn't grip my hand on it, or there was nothing that lined up perfectly in a straight line so that I can practice it. So I really didn't train human flag that much, if any, at all. But if my gym at the time did have those stall bars where you can like grip a pole that's horizontal and another one, then I would have trained it. However, like I said, I didn't have access to that equipment. But later I did discover, even though I didn't ever really train human flag, I can still hold it for like 3 to 4 seconds on each side. And that's, you know, without literally training it at all, and just through carryover of the other skills I've learned over time and just learning the technique of the push and pull. So there goes your answer in regards to the human flag, and that's why till this day I never really train it at all. Alright, so now I have 2 years of calisthenics underneath my belt, and by this time I'm past that intermediate stage. I'm honestly getting more into the advanced stage because I could do a one-arm pull-up. I still couldn't do 9-degree handstand push-ups, so I will focus more on that in 2016. But I was learning my freestanding handstand, which I got for a few seconds. I was getting better at planche. I was able to hold it for a few seconds, and people started looking at me like, you know, that guy in the gym who does calisthenics and is very good at it. So it took me, I'd say, 2 years of consistent training to actually become at a point to where I look decent in doing calisthenics, okay? So the year 2016, I was 20 years old and I was 163 pounds now, or around 74 kilograms. And as you see the progression chart here, I went from 145 to 155 to now 163. So each year I'm steadily gaining weight, gaining muscle, and going up. And obviously within those years, my body was looking slightly different each year. It could be my back, it could be my chest, my shoulders, you know, stuff like that. So my goals here were just simply more reps and better progress with the 2015 goals, and also learning the 90-degree handstand push-up. I was trying to formulate that together by getting good at freestanding handstand push-up reps, which I did learn within this year. And also I was still doing my pseudo planche push-ups, tuck planche push-ups, and working my way up to straddle planche push-ups and planche push-ups. Another one of my goals was to simply become a lot better at the handstand and work on my back lever more. Those are more the simple moves when it comes to moving beyond just the basic ones. Like, they're a lot easier than front lever and planche, back lever and handstand. So I want to get it to where I can hold a handstand anytime, anywhere, any place for at least 15 seconds. Because here I can hold a handstand, it was just very inconsistent. So maybe one day I could, the next day I couldn't. One time I get it for 20 seconds, the next time I can't even get it for 3 seconds. Like, I wanted a consistent handstand to where I can just pop up and hold a handstand anytime, anywhere, like I said, for at least 15 seconds. And also I was still working my front lever and planche at this point, kind of getting the form down and just going through the different dynamic progressions and also static progressions and working my way up there. At this time, I think I remember I can hold a straddle planche for I think 1 or 2 seconds and a front lever for maybe 1 or 2 seconds too. So I just kind of built off that base of working my way up to being able to hold it for a few seconds. And then I just kept training it there till I was able to, you know, bring up my time over time within the next few years. Now 2016 is where I also bought my first pair of rings, and I started to implement ring training within my workout routine because I never used rings at this point. It was literally the bar and the ground, and that's it. Like I said, no weights, no dumbbells, nothing yet. And I discovered rings and how they could be useful, and how I had untapped strength there. So I started doing ring dips, and I started learning the ring muscle up. All right, the ring muscle up was super hard for me at first. I had to learn the false grip and get comfortable with that. And then going up into that was like very difficult for me. But eventually I did learn it. So I might get a lot of crap for this, but I remember at the time when I started implementing ring training, I would do ring training on a separate day where I did my bodyweight stuff. And then I discovered that I literally would skip legs. There was like a 6-month period where I didn't train legs at all. And the reason is because I was seeing all these very strong calisthenics athletes and how they're doing these crazy one-arm planches and all that stuff, and all that like interested me a lot, and I wanted to be able to do that. So I studied them very, very hard, and I realized that most of them did not train their legs. So, which is actually a very true statement. Like the guys you see doing these street workout calisthenics battles, they literally skip their legs, or they might train it like once every 2 weeks. And that's because the more leg mass you have, it's going to hinder you in your hold times when it comes to planche, or maybe learning super advanced skills like one-arm planche and one-arm handstand. And so I realized that, and I was like, I'm gonna skip legs now, all right? I'm just gonna get a super strong upper body, and I'm gonna be able to do all this cool stuff. But eventually that caught up to me within the latter part of the year, and my upper body was just getting too big because I was gaining muscle mass slowly at a progressional rate, but it was just getting too big for my lower body. And I found myself wearing joggers and pants all the time, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna stop doing this crap, all right? I'm gonna actually take my leg training serious, and that's when I did. So I didn't dive into like the heavy squats that I do today, but I started doing my pistol squats again. I started just training my legs, and I think I was doing like weighted pistol squats at this point in time and kind of building that strength back up. Now in 2016, I became more aware of my aesthetics too, along with the strength I wanted to gain. And now I focused more on my diet and just figuring what was best for me in that nutrition aspect so that I can look the best possible, all right? I started to take my aesthetics very seriously at this point. And also here, I was doing a little bit more weighted calisthenics because, like I said, by this point, I could do 2 to 3 reps of one-arm chin-ups, and I wanted to, you know, kind of make it harder. So I was diving a bit into weighted calisthenics, not full blown into it, but just a little bit, maybe like 1 or 2 times a week. I would do some weighted push-ups, some weighted pull-ups just for a few sets. All right, now moving into year 2017. And year 2017 is a year I think a lot of you guys started to actually discover me and find me on YouTube or Instagram. So this was a point where a lot of people saw me kind of where I was at, but really didn't know my history at all in the past years. So I was 21 years old and I was 167 pounds. At this point, definitely slowly gained mass. And speaking about mass, this was the year of just straight up mass gain and looking sick, okay? But I'll get into that here in a minute. This is the year where it kind of set my foundation to where I'm at today, all right? So I was very, very good with my body weight. I could do all the skills that everybody wants to learn. I could hold a straddle planche, I could do full planche, I could do front lever, back lever, I can do ring muscle ups, I can do muscle ups, I can do a whole bunch of stuff at this point in time. I'm definitely very good with my body weight after 3 years of consistently training it. So I started learning about weighted calisthenics, and I started doing a lot more weighted calisthenics in my routine. I started implementing weighted squats in my routine, like 5x5s, 4 sets of 8, stuff like that. And also I started training my calves seriously. I started training my calves seriously like the end of 2016, but 2017 is where it was like the year of calves, all right? Because by this point, I've received so many YouTube comments. I even made a YouTube video describing why my calves were high. But you know, I started training them seriously then and taking my time with them and letting them kind of catch up to the rest of my body. And also like my legs too, because my legs honestly were not that big at all and were kind of small compared to where they are now. And the weighted squats and actually taking all that stuff seriously kind of helped me with that. Along with that, I started doing isolation work because in my summer strength video, I made a video describing how I was going to start implementing the isolation work, let's say lateral raises, calf work, and upper chest work, because I built my base with bodyweight training, but I want to take it to that next level and look like a legit bodybuilder by bringing up my lagging spots and kind of overall proportionate my body so that where somebody looks at me, they're like, you know, I can even tell this guy does calisthenics. You look like you're an average weightlifter type guy, but little do they know I have the skills of a calisthenics athlete. I can hold handstands, I can do all this amazing stuff with my body weight. So that was my focus in 2017. Also in 2017, after my what I like to call an accidental bulk, but people literally think I hopped on steroids at the time, which is absolutely not true. But I cleaned up my diet, and that summer of 2017, I got in literally the best shape I've ever been in, all right? I dropped down to like 7% body fat. I had my obliques ripped. I was veiny. I was doing a lot more traveling. I went to Texas. I went to Orlando. And I was having a great time, man. And I was like very, very happy and comfortable with how my body, especially my upper body, looked at the time. And at this time, I was running like a customized push-pull legs type of split. So I was still doing push-pull legs, but it was just like very customized to my weak parts and the things I wanted to maintain, which was my skill training, like planche, handstand, front lever. I was maintaining all of that stuff. I wasn't necessarily trying to get better at it, but I wanted to just kind of maintain it. And at this point, I also wasn't like learning a lot of new skills at all either. It was pretty much aesthetics, looking amazing while having the skills that I have. That was 2017 in a short summary right there. All right, 2018, this is the year, all right? Now I'm 22 years old, 170 pounds, or 77.1 kilograms, and I have been training consistently week in, week out for over 4 years now. So by this point, like at the beginning years, I did mostly calisthenics, but now I'm evolving, okay? I'm learning about other methods of training. I'm not just like staying single-minded to a single style of training, even though I did start off that way, okay? Like as you get older, and my young guys who are watching this, you will discover this. You might start off with fully bodyweight training at first, but as your mind matures and you start to learn about different training methods, or maybe it's just me, you might start to actually do a bit of other stuff, but you'll still have that love for calisthenics and you'll still do it as I still do it, because I still mostly do calisthenics, but like I said, I just implement a bit of different stuff now within my training. And this year, I got really big on weighted calisthenics. I released Beyond Bodyweight, my weighted calisthenics program, and I was doing just building crazy amounts of plates and reps on weighted pull-ups, weighted push-ups, working up my squat numbers, started deadlifting, because I realized the lack of posterior chain work that I've neglected these past 3.5 years, 4 years. And so I started taking that seriously, and it was really all about testing my limits, okay? Because I had the aesthetics now, I had this like unique bodyweight strength combo along with my aesthetics, and so I just wanted to capitalize off that and kind of just get better at everything. I started focusing on new skills in calisthenics now. I wanted to learn the one-arm handstand, which is a different beast within itself, let me tell you. And also like the Hefesto and things like that. Things I'm still working on till this day. And you know, I can still do straddle planche. I can still do all those skills I learned back in 2016. It's just taking it to the next level and really seeing what my body is capable of this point, and just educating my mind more about different training methods, and even within calisthenics, like educating myself more into that, and also nutrition, you know. And I feel like I said, that just comes with age, all right? I'm literally a totally different person from when I first started, when I was 18, 19 years old, to now about to turn 23 years old, and I've been in the game for almost 5 years. And you might experience that too, like I said, once you get older. So if you go back to 2014 as a whole, I started off 145, and I'm ended off now at around 173 to 175 pounds, to be honest. It's depending on the day and my body fat levels. But within that time, a lot of growth happened, obviously in my muscles, but also in my mind and my education and stuff like that. And that is literally how I made my transformation. So it all comes down to being consistent and evolving as you go along this process, and just investing in yourself, whether it be training programs, knowledge, or any source of education. And throughout this whole time, I was a full-time college student. So please go watch the college story video where I do the same exact thing in detail. I'll post a link down below. But I'm super excited to see where 2019 goes for me, and how much growth and progress I made within that year, because even though a lot of you think so, I have not even reached my peak yet, guys. I'm still hitting PRs every workout. I'm still progressing just like you are. And I might get even bigger. I don't know, man. Like every year, as you saw, I tend to get bigger, gain weight, gain muscle in some aspect, as I should. And hopefully you are too. So if you enjoyed this informational transformation video, please give a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe if you're new. Hopefully it gave you a lot of insight on my training and my mindset as I was going about all of this stuff and throughout the years, okay? So like I said, give a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!